Hello, so today I'm with Siva Snarby, so co-founder of Connect the Dots. You will tell us a bit more about what you do. And for those of you who just arrived on this channel, it's called Insights for Growth because each time I interview a business owner, so today you are like a startup owner, it can be solopreneurs, CEOs, solo founders, co-founders who share their tips and their mindset shifts. So you can learn from that and grow your business as well. And yeah, can you tell us a bit more about you, Siva? For a start?
Yeah, yes, for sure. First, I would like to say thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'm a co-founder of Connect the Dots, and at
Mhm.
Connect the Dots, we build like a flight simulator, but for medical personnel. So we use VR, as you see here in my background, and
Okay.
that's a tool so people can work on or having extensive training on medical procedures.
Okay, that's
And
great.
we founded a company now more than 5 years ago. And currently we are working in Scandinavia,
Mm.
Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, and are also starting to work on other countries outside of Scandinavia.
Okay, that's great. So growing a bit international, step by step.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Yeah, that's great. And so also for context about more about you, so we met in some of the events I organize here in Las Palmas. So I assume like, I mean, I know that you travel between Norway and Spain, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct.
So maybe that's interesting to start there, like a bit more of your lifestyle, like how is it for you, like as a co-founder to deal with the lifestyle to be between two countries or more even if you have
Yeah,
meetings or conferences here and there, if you're okay to share.
yeah. I mean, I do travel a lot, just the last, let's say, since May or June. Yeah, since June. I've been 3 times in Denmark for events.
Mm.
So it's definitely busy, and I think that's a part of being an entrepreneur as well. I was today talking with a friend who works as well, and she told me she had been probably 6 times in just the last 4 months, going back and forth between Norway and Denmark. So I definitely think that needs to be is a natural place or natural thing of being an entrepreneur. But also, I mean, it's also important to having the time to like settle down and having this stable life to be able to do the work that you need to do. And
Mm.
I definitely do feel that I found that even when I go on trips, I do plan like what are the things I need to do when I'm home and what do I need to do when I'm on the trips.
Mm.
But yeah, I would say it's definitely good to be living kind of the best of both worlds. Like having a stable home, but also travel a lot.
Mm.
So, yeah, I would say also like traveling can also lead you to, you can network and meet new people. And that's where I met you. And I also feel that our friendship has been very valuable as well for my
Mm.
journey. Like I learned a lot from you, and I think that's a great part of traveling as well. Because if you stay in one place, it's definitely harder to meet more people. You always have new people to meet in your place, but even
Yeah.
more as you go outside.
Yeah, you have different stories or people with different directions and mindset for sure. So that's quite
Yeah,
nice to have. Like, yeah, it's also to see things through different perspectives. I guess can be giving some inspiration.
100%, 100%. So what do
Yeah,
you feel about that? I mean, you have been traveling quite a lot as well.
yeah,
What
yeah.
is your
So
perspective?
that's interesting. I wanted to investigate more that topic with you because I've been a digital nomad myself for 2 years, like traveling mainly in Europe and Southeast Asia
Mm.
for 1 year and a half or 2 years. And but I had a way faster pace, and there was way more novelty for me because I was moving to a new country, new city, so always more things to discover. And I realized it was quite a lot of mental loads. Like so, I could see that it affected my work in the way that I had a lot of mental space that had to be dedicated to my like planning my trips and not
Yeah.
fully to be focused on my business. And so that's why I decided to have a more stable, maybe lifestyle to be based here in Las Palmas and maybe travel here and there if I want to, but to have a
Mm.
kind of a base. And so, yeah, I don't know if that's the way you see it as well, like for yourself, like you have maybe two bases, like in Norway, in Spain, and maybe traveling to other places, or.
Yeah, I definitely been the most in Spain and in Norway.
Mhm,
Not really too many other places. Of course, now and then, like as I mentioned, Denmark, but
mhm,
mainly Norway and Spain. Yeah.
mm,
I also like going to Spain. My first time, I was only 6 months, and I've been spending most of my Christmases actually in Spain. So that's kind of
mm,
how it all started, like getting away from the long winter time in Norway.
mm.
But yeah,
Yeah, and at least what's for sure is that for me to to live here in Las Palmas, it brings me a lot of stability in my energy because there is no too much that effect of the seasons. And
mm,
so for me, that was one of the big reasons like to stay here, apart from many other things, but like the stability of my energy and motivation that
mm,
I didn't have so much. I can see in France now it's November and
mm,
people are starting to feel a bit depressed, a bit less motivated, and maybe even
yes,
worse, like in your case there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, and
100%, 100%. Like if I were to pick a country to live in Europe for business, it would probably be Stockholm or London.
hmm,
Yeah, but for the winter time, no, like too cold. So yeah, I mean, I definitely do think those two cities are great for business, like for events and all that stuff. But also in the end, we do spend a lot of time at work, so then I think it's even more important that you have it quite stable when you're not at work, like having a lot of energy, getting time to do the things you want to do,
hmm,
things that give you a lot of energy, like. It is hard having a business, even if you are one in the team or 50 in the team, it's still hard to have your own business.
hmm,
It doesn't matter the size. So I definitely think you need to invest a lot in yourself when you're not working.
yeah, totally. I mean, I fully support that as a coach,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's interesting. Like as you say, there are some cities that are way better to for business, maybe some others that are better for lifestyle. Like
yeah,
Las Palmas, I would put it way, way more on the lifestyle part than business opportunity part, let's say.
100%.
But so you see, like, I think it's interesting to see what our life demonstrates, and that in my case, I prioritize my lifestyle, and okay, I'm still growing my business online, and so it's not like a blocker.
Mm,
But I'm curious to, if you're okay to share, how do you approach this? That balance between quality of life and also like being super like ambitious to grow business, to scale it, and these kind of things. What's the balance for you, like in terms of the vision you have for the growth and pace
yeah.
of your business?
I'm going to be very honest because I do think it's important to show that side as well. Sometimes I still do struggle to have that kind of balance. I
Hmm.
know some people say like fuck balance, but I really don't support the strong hustle culture,
Hmm.
like only sleep like 6 hours, get up early, do the work. That's
Hmm.
something I don't support. I definitely support working hard, but I
Yeah.
definitely think like I think you need to go to the gym. I think you need to eat healthy. I think you need to sleep a lot. I do think you need to spend time with friends and family. You need to have some hobbies, for your I guess more creative side that will also give you a lot of like all these things are going to give you a lot of energy, which is
Hmm.
fuel. So, yeah, I think that's the balance is super important and I definitely try to have that in my life. I'm still like kind of figuring out like do I want to work like X hours every single weekday, or do I want to work in the weekends as well and having shorter days? That's
Hmm.
something I'm still kind of trying to figure out because sometimes it's hard to get time for everything. Let's
Hmm.
just be honest, it's very hard to get time for everything. But I think yeah, like for me, going to the gym has been one thing, and the sleep and the food is something I really try to stay very committed to
Hmm.
during every single day, actually. Also, I
Okay.
think the social life is important, but you don't have time for that like every single, of course, I do have interactions every single day, but sometimes, of course, I feel like everyone else. I wished I had more time, you know? So in the end, it's really about how you prioritize your time because we all
Hmm.
have the same amount of time.
Yeah, I think it's super hard, like as you say, to tick all the boxes on all our
Yeah,
needs, like social life, personal life, work, family,
yeah,
everything. And I believe way more in the fact that there are seasons in our lives and we prioritize some aspects more than others.
yeah.
And I think in my case, at least, that's the way I see it. And I try the best I can not to beat myself up if I'm in a season of my life where I don't prioritize my business, to be super clear
Mm,
with it.
mm.
And
Yeah.
okay, so I decided that for now, for the coming months, it's not my top priority, and that's fine. I'm
Mhm.
still doing what I have to do, and then I can do other things, whether it's traveling or spending time with family or whatever. And then I will have another season when I'm way more committed to accelerate and increase like the pace.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I think the worst part is when we are a bit in between. We want to have some time for ourselves, and we are not working so much and still beating ourselves up for not working enough, if you see what I mean.
right.
And yeah.
100%. But what I always try to remind myself of is doing the right things and not doing like there's a difference between being busy and being having a intentional full agenda. Like those are
Mhm.
two different things. Like I
Yeah.
could be sitting here and working all day, like being busy. But what are the really important things, you know?
Mhm.
Like today, I knew we were going to have the podcast. As I mentioned, for me, the gym is important. So
Mhm.
I left my job a bit earlier today to have
Mhm.
time for everything. And this morning, I did host a webinar for my company.
Mhm.
And that definitely took a bit more energy for the preparation, for being the host, for all the different things. And then I was like, fine, today I worked a bit less, but then yesterday I worked a bit longer, you know, so
Mhm.
yeah, I don't feel bad at all. But I think that's been like practice makes perfect, right? You practice on allowing yourself to work less, maybe, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think there is also a bit of culture of I don't know where it comes from, but that if we are not productive enough, we will feel some guilt, and it's always a motor to push us to work more and more. But there
Yeah.
can be like no limit to it, and so as you say, to be more aware of what makes our days productive and how do we define what was a successful day. These kind of things can really help to be more at peace with yeah, the pace of work we want to have, let's say.
100%. And when I was struggling with this, I started looking into Eisenhower matrix. I know you're also familiar with
Mm,
that one. And that's like four columns. The one is the one you need to do right now, urgent. The other one
mm,
is the one you need to do, but later. Then it's delegate, and then it's delete. And I definitely felt more peace after I started putting in time for planning. And I'm
mhm.
sure you can relate to that as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's maybe the slight difference between us is that I'm like solopreneur, let's say, and you have a team.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that's interesting, like to see, okay, like if it's a mess in your agenda, you will just delegate some mess to your team in a way, and so
Yes.
it will amplify just the thing. And so that's one thing, and the other one is okay. Um, Being comfortable to delegate, to trust the team, these kind of things. And so I'm quite curious to know a bit more like how you operate with your teams, like to be able to delegate and to have more valuable time, I mean, more time for the valuable actions on your side. If you're okay to
Right.
share a bit more about, yeah, how it goes for you, like to delegate more, how you feel about it, let's say.
So how I feel about it is that like it's like a football team, right? Every
Mm-hmm.
person have their position that they're doing well. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely trying to like remind myself, okay, what's my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Like, okay, maybe this person is even better than me at this. This person is better than this on me than this. So it's definitely like mapping out like what do we have in the team and what do we need to hire, for example. And then when we get it into the team, then it's like, okay, this person will be responsible for this.
Mm.
Um, yeah, like just to give one example, I'm very good at calls, for example, phone calls.
Okay.
But I don't really have so much patience for long meetings. And
Okay.
that's something I want to show. Like that's just one example. And then I do have other people on my team who love being in meetings for like 1 hour and then a little break, then 1 hour again, then a little
Hmm.
break. Like for me that I don't really I don't feel that's for me. I definitely do
Okay.
have a lot of video calls during the day, but they are mainly shorter. And then I have more time for planning or, actually doing
Hmm.
the calls, phone
Yeah.
calls. So that's just one example to
Mm.
kind of show, okay, then I spend my time and energy on the things I'm good on, and then the other people or that person will spend more
Mm.
time on doing what they are good at.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
Hmm.
And I assume as well that, okay, if you have only short calls, it all helps you to preserve your energy, not to get frustrated as well with the format that is not the right one for you. Like if you only have long calls and stuff. So maybe that's for the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, because I do remember there was a time I didn't know this about myself because it took some time to kind of learn, okay, like getting
Mhm.
to know myself, what I like and like a little less. And I remember one day I had like meetings, probably 6 hours of eight, maybe like a long day. And I kept doing that some days and I was like, okay, this is maybe not for me. I
Mhm.
felt yeah, a bit like I didn't feel good after all the meetings.
Mhm.
I felt a bit like I definitely spend a lot of energy on my phone calls, but they are shorter.
Mhm. Yeah.
That can be 5, 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, I see. I see.
Yeah.
And like as we are talking about delegation, I'm curious to know a bit more how it was for you, like this transition between working alone to working with the team. Like I know that for many people, and including myself, if I had to delegate and build a team, I would maybe have some fear or some uncertainty about keeping the control or having things done the way I want. And so I'm sure there is a learning curve and a lot of mistakes made along the way before you get a team that works well. And so, yeah, is it okay for you to share a bit more? How was that transition like to, okay, hire your first collaborator and then set the processes, all these things? Yeah.
Yeah. So I would definitely say I definitely have a control element. I think that's been natural for me, kind of growing up. I don't know why, but yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I definitely have the control. I like to have control. However, I also do trust other people having the control as well. So even though I do like control myself, I do trust other people. So, if I just talk about the last half year, I've been hiring 3 people.
Hmm.
And it's all been going quite smooth, to be honest, because now we have a system. Like I've been spending time on building a system. So when we are onboarding, I focus on the meetings to connect with them, and then they have videos for how to do it.
Hmm.
And then when we are doing it together, some of the things, I let them be kind of taking the lead, showing me like sharing the screen, and then I would just pick up on things if it's not done correctly.
Hmm.
So it's going really well, to be honest. But before, when I didn't have any system, then it was harder. So
Hmm.
like having these like videos where my colleagues can go and see them on and on again if they need to, that's like it's a really good advice to other people if they want to do the same.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
I like it.
people are definitely going to make mistakes.
Hmm.
That has happened several times, but then, to be honest, that's a sign to me that, okay, here is something I can improve. So, yeah, so several times I've seen that, okay, maybe there was a little gap here, and then that's a sign for me how we can improve. And
Hmm.
instead of spending time on thinking that, oh, this didn't go how it should have been, this information shouldn't have been shared with clients, for example. I try to just spend the energy on the future instead. I
Mm.
mean, done is done.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's better to have that constructive mindset, or you learn from your mistakes and you just
Yeah,
improve for the next time. I fully support that, yeah.
100%.
And so what would be for you like the best timing to delegate in a business? Okay, so you are more in the startup world, let's say, but to to know that okay, it's the right time to start delegating, hiring maybe your first employee. Do you need to wait to be super underwater, like super busy with work to do it, or to have a certain level of revenue? Like, what is the indicator for you, or the indicators, let's say, to know that is the
I
right timing?
I would definitely say it's the income.
Mm.
Because if you don't have the income or the resources to hire
Hmm.
someone else, then you can't. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't.
for
If you
sure.
don't have
Mm.
clients paying you, I don't see like we can work a lot, right? But if
Hmm.
they are not like everyone I have in sales, they need to generate more than what they are costing. Of course, that will take time. Like I can't expect that the first year, let's be
Hmm.
honest.
Okay.
But after a year, it should definitely be possible for them to generate more than they cost. And I
Mm.
think if you are alone in a business, it's definitely tricky. Like you really need to get some income in order to pay both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that makes sense. And so, if I understand you clearly, it's you need to be already quite comfortable with your income, like to understand
Yeah.
what you're doing. And so, you can afford to train someone and not to be profitable with that person for some
Yeah.
time. So, they have time to get that learning curve and to be profitable as well. Something like this.
Yeah. Yeah, and to touch something you said, I only hire when we feel there's like, oh, like it's hurting now. It's like too much to do. Like you
Okay.
should feel a bit, in my opinion, from what I learned from other mentors. That's something else I want to say. Like always have some mentors that are ahead
Hmm.
of the game, that have walked the walk that you want to walk.
Mm. Yeah,
And I
totally.
from you feel a bit pain for a little time before you hire. Now, the amount of pain doesn't have to be more than a few months, right?
Mm.
But yeah, you need to feel like, oh, this is someone we really need and not just like nice to have. It needs to be a need to have.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm thinking of sales, because you mentioned it. I think for many entrepreneurs who are not super comfortable with sales, they
Yeah.
enjoy more to deliver their service. It
Yeah.
can be super tempting to delegate sales as soon as possible, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think in most cases it's way too soon because if you don't know exactly what you are selling, at whom, what are the triggers that will make the sale, like or
Mm.
the main benefits, it will be super hard to delegate it to someone. Like if you don't master what your service or your product, it will be hard to delegate it properly, I think, and even though it's
Yeah.
tempting, it's quite a trap, I think, to do it too fast.
Uh,
And yeah,
yeah.
it's like a shame. Um, but yeah, so I don't know what do you think about this, like, or maybe the mistakes that you see about delegating too fast, things like that you
It
observe.
really depends, to be honest. It really depends because I definitely did do a lot of work on sales before, like maybe even a bit too long, but in the beginning we didn't really have the finances.
Mm-hmm.
What I did figure out not too long ago though is right now you do have the European Commission. They have been co-funding our company. They also have something now for upcoming entrepreneurs, like young
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs. So you can actually apply on the European Commission for having a upcoming entrepreneur working for you for free, and they will
Mm-hmm.
get paid from the European Commission. So that's like advice I would give to other people. If the economy is a bit tight
Mm-hmm.
and you need someone to help you out, that could be a solution. They can work for 1 to 6 months, and sometimes they have to be in the same place as you, if I understood it correctly. But I think that's
Okay.
definitely like coming to the same place to learn from you because they are going to become entrepreneurs and they
Mhm.
need to learn from someone who's already it's kind of you will be like a mentor, you know. And
Yeah, I
that's
see.
something I think is very valuable for many people because if you don't have the finances, you can kind of share your skills, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's quite a risk-free. I mean, it mitigates the risk a lot. I mean, yes, if you
Yes.
hire someone that doesn't fit with the job, it will be painful
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
But at
yeah.
least you don't, it doesn't impact you so much financially. So yeah, that's very good mechanism to investigate. Yeah. And I think I
Right.
heard of it, and you need to be in business for a few years maybe. So it's not for the new entrepreneurs like to hire like another new entrepreneur. It's when you are a bit more advanced. But yeah, definitely like for businesses that are already making some sales and who want to have someone like that helps them, it can be super valuable.
Yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so you were mentioning that you got funded by the European Commission. Can you tell us a bit more about this? Like, what was the process for you? And again, maybe like was it a challenge for you to get that funding? If so, what were they? Like to see a bit more like how you approached it, if that's okay for you to share it.
Yeah, it's a very interesting story because this is, oof, how many years is this ago? Time is flying. It's several years ago, and I was recommended by someone working in the Norwegian Research Council to apply. And I remember it was the first year they had it, the proposal. And I remember I was thinking like, I don't really have time. I have so much to do on sales. Like I was alone on sales. I did have a team of four at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was like really doubting, should I really spend time on applying for that, to be
Mm.
honest?
Yeah.
And she just kept pushing me. She was like, Siva, have you applied? Siva, can you send me the draft? And I was like, okay. And I did it, and I actually got it. And this is the Women Tech EU from the
Mm.
European Commission. I also, if there are any female leaders who are listening who have an interest in applying, I made a podcast called Built by Her
Mm.
to share that information, how to apply. I give some tips and share my experience. And yeah, we also got a grant at the time. It was 75,000 euros, which is
Mhm.
definitely a lot, not a lot, but it does help. I mean, when you have a
Mm.
small startup, that really makes a difference as well.
Yeah.
So, and also, you know, being recognized by the European Commission is good regarding to, you know, for investors, for your own boost, and yeah, it was really great to be honest. And I did not see that one coming.
Mm.
There was between 400 and 500 women applying from the whole Europe. So, yeah, it's a big competition.
Yeah, yeah, good job with that because I used to work as a consultant, innovation consultant for consortiums of company who wanted to get funding from Europe. So I know a bit
Mhm.
the context and I know it's super, super
Yeah,
competitive. So
it is. It is.
congrats to
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
And yeah, for sure, I guess it's a big social proof. Like if you get funded by the EU, then maybe you get some networking opportunities and all these things afterwards. So it's not only for the money, but can be useful in many different ways.
Yeah, I actually had two mentors through the program, and
Mm.
I would say that's the biggest value. And that's why I really highlight that you should have mentors.
Okay.
Sometimes people can also mentor you for free, you know, but in this case it was paid by the European Commission. But I learned a lot from those mentors, and that was the really big takeaway. And also the network is also helping
Mm.
you, of course. I one of the women I met through the program, she uh she has been giving me introductions to England, so it can be, I mean, it's always valuable to expand
Mhm.
your network.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, if people listening are into launching a startup or growing it, I mean, can be a way to get some cash flow, I guess, because that's the main value, I assume. So you can maybe feel more comfortable for the marketing and all these things. So yeah, can make sense. Um, another topic a bit connected to having a team and so on. I was curious to know, like, okay, in 5 years as an entrepreneur, there are always ups and downs, like phases when we have a lot of energy, motivation, clarity, everything. And
Yeah.
some when it's a bit more tricky, let's say. And so let's say when you are alone, you only have yourself to handle, let's say. And so that makes it a bit easier. But I'm curious as a co-founder or like CEO of a company, it's you also need to keep like your posture, like for your team, these kind of things. And so I don't know if you had these kind of phases through the years, and how do you usually deal with these phases of a bit down for yourself, but also for the team, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Good question. So when I have my down periods, I mean, we all have stages or seasons where we feel
Hmm.
a bit down.
Yeah,
That's life. That's
yeah, for
really life.
sure.
Um, it's definitely a sign to me that I need to take even more care of myself and maybe
Hmm.
like reflecting, okay, am I doing something? Do I have, are my days too long? Are they too stressful? Did I have enough of the social life, for example, related to what I need?
Hmm.
Or did I go enough to the gym? Um, yeah, so I think it's really about like figuring out, every person have to figure out their needs in that sense and the task at works that gives them energy. I think the best will be to maybe have 80% of the things you do daily that you like to do, and then 20
Hmm.
things like 20% you just like have to do. It's like a part of what you have to do, right? Like for me, accounting is not really, it doesn't give me anything, it doesn't give any results. But I did study a part of that. Like I definitely know how to do it. So I'm
Hmm.
still doing it for the company. And that's
Yeah.
also, to be honest, for I mean, right now we're not at a place where we want to hire someone just to be accountant for
Hmm.
the business because
Okay.
we basically have our main cost is the salaries and the software. We don't really have and travels, to see clients or go to events.
Yeah.
So honestly, there is not a need to hire someone, and that's something I'm a bit like, yeah, it's not something I want to do, but it's okay. So that's like in those 20%. It's like it's okay, it's totally fine.
Hmm.
But it doesn't give me any energy. But like talking with clients or like the webinar we had today, that's like things that like gives me energy, like providing value to our clients.
Hmm. Yeah, that's great. And I guess the fact that you have that sales mindset and that you feel comfortable with sales, that must be like a super nice feature as a business owner, like to
Yeah.
like meeting clients and stuff. And do you think it's something that you had naturally, or that you developed through time, to feel comfortable and to like even the sales part of the of your business, let's say?
Yeah, before I answer that, I would just like to say
Yeah.
as a CEO, I do think you're not only selling a product or a software, you're also selling like to investors, you're selling the whole
Mm.
business plan, And you also like when for example, when we hire, we had
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people applying, like the one of the positions we had almost 200, I think, which is a lot of
Mm.
people, a lot
Yeah,
of
for sure.
people. And I mean, what we learned from that is that wow, we're actually doing good marketing. Like we're selling the company when we post on LinkedIn or social media. Like people want to be a part of our team because they see like people have even commented like the words we use are like very inviting. Like they want to be a part of it. But
Mm.
to answer your question, I would say, yeah, it was always natural for me to work with sales as I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs.
Mm. Yeah, that's interesting. So, like, it was kind of normal for you to, like, when you created or joined the business, like, to be in that sales mode and to generate deals and stuff. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's
Okay, okay.
always been natural for me. So that's yeah, people always thought I would go this direction, to be honest. I didn't know myself. I didn't have it very clear. I mean, I definitely felt like it would be natural for me to build my own business.
Hmm.
But yeah, people like especially my parents, they always knew that it would go this way, to be honest.
Okay, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's convenient, let's say.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you because I know for myself, I didn't create a business because, okay, I want to be a successful entrepreneur. I think it's really the case for many people. It's more that I realized after having my engineer degree that, okay, being an employee, I don't really feel that I fit there. And I've
Mm,
tried many, many jobs in different companies. And
mm.
at some point, I realized, okay, maybe I need to try something else. Okay, let's start
Yeah.
to be a freelancer and see what happens. And so
Yeah.
I had to learn sales and to shift many like mindset like blockers, let's say, that I had
Mm.
because I had quite a lot that employee mindset. And
Yeah.
so to shift to be like an entrepreneur, to understand marketing and sales, it was really not natural. And now it's way more comfortable. But it
Yeah.
was a huge shift for me. And I know like for many of my clients who are usually like coaches or consultants or trainers, they really love to deliver their service. But when it comes to marketing and sales, it's really the part they are resisting like to do that they don't like, and so it creates a lot of frustration and friction
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's why I think it's quite like a nice feature to have it. Maybe there are other things that you needed to improve as an entrepreneur, but yeah, at least it's a good thing to have. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if you want to react on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just curious, like what made you realize that okay, I want to try my starting my own business?
Yeah, in my case, it was more, um, first of all, because I had a lot of frustration in my jobs, and at
Mm.
some point I lost faith a bit. And
Mm.
so I started to ask myself, okay, if I'm not an engineer, what else can I be? And
Mm.
so I started to think, and I was really into self-growth, reading books, and already
Mm.
pushing myself. Like my own backstory, it's that when I was up to 18 years old, I was super introverted. I had social anxiety. It was super difficult for me to interact with people.
Mm.
And so I forced myself, like I did my own therapy, basically, like to go out there, talk to people, traveling alone in some hostels. So I don't give myself the choice, but to meet
Ah.
people and to be more social, let's say. But
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I really felt awkward. I had flattened my personality a lot,
yeah.
and I was suffering not to have a close connections with friends, no girlfriend, these kind of things. And so
Yeah.
that was really like my starting point. And it took me, I think, maybe 5 years to feel that finally I overcame that problem. And so that
Wow.
was the beginning of my professional life. I was maybe 22, 23.
Mm.
And so I worked a few years as an employee. And at some point, I had that realization, okay, I managed to overcome these kind of challenges. I believe that many people are struggling from this, and I didn't have maybe the courage I had when I was younger to travel alone and to
Mm.
uh, push myself out of my comfort zone, like really to do violence to myself, like to overcome these challenges.
Mm.
And so maybe they would benefit from my help. And that's when I started to investigate what can it be, and I discovered about coaching. And then I started to attend a course to become a coach for one
Mm.
year and a half, and then I started my activity like that. So it was in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So you
Mm-hmm.
see, it took me a bit of time, like to think what can it be, and I started to with meditation. Maybe I can be a meditation trainer, but then
Mm.
I realized, okay, it's not for me. It's not going deep enough, like with the mind, the subconscious mind, the emotions, the thoughts and stuff. And so that's why I decided to go for a course to be a coach. So yeah, that's basically like the
I
journey.
love that. I love that because it's like obviously you do have to go a lot out of your comfort zone when you're an entrepreneur, when you have your own business, and you
Yeah.
did that. And I think that's the only reason why you are in the position you are today. So yeah, I think you needed to you had a long journey, taking a lot of baby steps and
Mm.
expanding your capacity, but that's the way you needed to go, right?
Yeah,
And you did.
exactly. Yeah, and I
I
remember
hope
when
you
I was
celebrate
yeah,
it.
I do, and I'm really grateful for having that lucidity when I was younger to do that, because I know some
Yeah,
people, they are maybe 30 years old, like basically more or less my age, and they are still stuck with that. They didn't
I'm sure. Yeah.
make that decision when I was 18 years old to change their lives, to like to learn to be more social, to interact more with people, to assert more their personality. And today they feel they wasted a lot of years, because
Yeah.
it's okay to be socially awkward when you are 18. When you are 30, it's way more problematic, So it was the right
Probably, yeah.
timing as well for me to do it there. But still, like I know it becomes more and more of a problem as you age.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
Definitely, definitely. It's harder to change the older you get as well.
yeah, as well, yeah. Mm,
Yeah. We obviously know how important social interactions are, like networking and so on. It
mm,
can really help your business moving forward.
mm,
So yeah, I mean, obviously that was something very important for you to work on, and you did it. I mean,
mm,
I think also many people want to start a business, but they also have a lot of fear, like for
mm,
failing or so. And I keep saying this, like everything can change. Like maybe in the beginning, like maybe next year, like my business will not survive. Who knows? I mean, it doesn't
mm,
seem like it will go that way at all.
mhm.
But who knows? Things can change. But
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of failing because if everything closes down, then I'm still so rich in all the experiences, the wisdom.
Mm,
So I think you should never be afraid of failing, but like doing the important things every day to make sure it goes the right way. And if it doesn't, then that's okay. That's a learning as well.
yeah,
So I think many
totally.
people, that's why they have a hard time going out of their comfort zone. So why did you go out? Did you know it yourself or did someone mentor you?
No, I just did it on my own. And so basically, I went to Ireland, for example, for 1 month. So
Uh-huh.
it was in English to add an extra step of difficulty.
Yeah.
But yeah, because first time I was traveling also like outside of France alone. And
Mm.
so I was basically watching YouTube videos on to develop my social skills during the day, and in the evening I was going out, like to practice, let's say.
Yeah,
So there
yeah.
were very fast feedback loops, and also I
Yeah.
decided to go in a hostel.
Yeah.
So basically, you are in dormitories and you don't have any private space, and I used to be super introverted, so I
Yeah.
needed my bubble, but I forced myself to be surrounded by people all the time. Uh, Consciously. So I didn't have any choice but to drop my social mask, and
Yeah.
to be just more authentic naturally, because
Yeah.
draining to hold like a social mask all the time. And that's why many introverted people, they go to networking events for 2 hours and then they are super drained because they need to play kind of a role, if you see what I mean. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I learned how to be a bit more myself, like because I had no choice, basically.
Mm.
And so that
Mm.
was one of my greatest learnings as well, like and then, I mean, it took me a lot of time to understand, okay, maybe I was quite people pleasing. So how can I get rid of that and to be more following my own path, let's say? And so
Mm.
being an entrepreneur definitely helps as
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
later. So all these
Yeah.
things combined, that's quite funny because I was really struggling with my social skills. And
Yeah.
when I started my coaching business, that's what I started teaching people, basically, because I spent so much time learning that I shifted from being under average to way above average in
Mm.
terms of
Mm.
skills, to understand my emotions, to communicate them, to deal with conflicts and these kind of things, And
Mm.
when people who had normal social skills didn't need to learn these kind of things more than, I mean, as much as I did, let's say. So that was an
Yeah.
interesting realization for me.
And that's the perfect mentor or coach or therapist for the people. Like, I mean, if you have walked the road they want to go, then
Hmm.
you are the right mentor or coach for them.
Mhm.
So it definitely makes sense that you were teaching that to other people.
Yeah,
100%.
for sure. And
Mm,
it's, I think, as we discussed one day, it's really like my approach is to try to embody as much as I can what I teach or what I help
yeah.
my clients with,
Yeah.
because then I don't need to pretend anything. I'm super transparent. And
Mm,
if they ask me a question, they will see that I have experience. I'm not repeating what I heard from Alex Hormozy or whatever, because,
mm,
it's something that I've tried myself, so I can give
yes.
a lot of examples, case studies, and stuff, and I'm super confident with what I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
people feel that. I think it's big mistakes for people who launch a business these days. They want to pretend to be better than what they are, and so
Mm,
it really
mm,
kills like their um, like the image they build. It doesn't look real. It's a kind of fake. We don't know exactly why, but it doesn't sound too trustworthy, if you see what I mean.
yeah,
And
I
yeah,
mean, this is
people
just a
feel that.
silly example, but if you have
Mm.
someone trying to sell you something and
Mm.
they are just about selling but not thinking about your needs, what you're looking for, you
Mhm.
feel that. And that's the same with what you're touching now. You like
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
feel
exactly.
something is off, 100%. You feel it.
Yeah, because as human beings, we have a super good intuition that is the sum of our past experiences. And so even
Mm,
though we don't know rationally what is wrong, we feel
mm,
that it's wrong. And
yeah.
so that's really like two good examples with sales and embodying what we do. And
Mm,
so yeah, I mean that was part of my journey. And but yeah, and I used to be like super perfectionist, and I think maybe you are a bit. I mean, you mentioned it earlier. And so,
mm,
yeah, it took me like I had to evolve on many things as well when I started my business, not to try to make everything perfect
yes.
before I start something. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, maybe you can relate to that. I don't know how you approach it, like with what you do, like in your business, or maybe with your podcast that you launched, or these kind of things. You
Yeah.
could share a bit, but yeah.
I would definitely say I think this is maybe the year that I actually started working on that because I became so aware of it.
Yeah.
And something I've been trying to do is just like, okay, is this 80% enough? If it is, then we
Hmm.
move forward. But before I
Okay.
could be spending maybe more hours on things before I would move forward to like
Hmm.
try to get it better. But like now I'm just like doing my best, and if it's good enough, good. If not, then I will learn that I have to do improvements. And as you mentioned, the podcast I did,
Mhm.
the reason why I did it in the first place was that I was talking with I received a lot of messages for women that wanted to apply for the European Commission, and I was thinking like I really don't have the time. I really don't have the time to have meetings with all of them. That is not scalable. And then I also thought, okay, maybe I could do something that is more scalable so more women can benefit of that.
Hmm.
And then I did the podcast. I did it this summer. Actually, during my vacation, I was just like, I really felt that I wanted to help them, and then I did the podcast. And honestly, I just kind of did it as now. I took my computer, I just had my earpods, and then I just pushed play, and I didn't do any editing, only the beginning, like cutting the first until I talk and the
Hmm.
last when I finish talking. So I don't know hardly anything about editing. And of course, when I saw it, it was like, oh, I was stumbling there. I should have said this instead. But I was like, you know what? Like my goal is to provide value, and here there is a lot of value,
Hmm.
so let's just post it because they did have a deadline, and then there was not too many weeks before the deadline, so I just posted, and I did receive messages where people told me like this has not only been helpful for Women Tech EU but other proposals as well.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that kind of it showed me that, okay, you don't have to be a perfectionist. Now, this was not the first example, but it's something that is quite recently, and I'm definitely even less perfectionist now. It depends what it
Hmm.
is, of course, but I feel I'm getting like less and less perfectionist,
Hmm.
which is good. Sometimes you need to be a little bit more, but everything will be fine. And if it's not, then you learn.
Yeah, and I can totally relate. And for me, I quite healed my perfectionism. I still have a bit, but way less
Yeah.
than what it used to be.
Yeah.
And what I realized at some point, it was that I was perfectionist not for others, but for myself, because
Yeah.
I was a bit scared that if it's not perfect, I will get criticized, and I was
Mm.
not ready to accept the feedbacks, the negative feedbacks from people. And
Yeah.
so I reframed that by telling myself, okay, if I get feedback from others, it will be a good opportunity to improve next time. But I decide not to take it personally.
Yes.
And then when I reframed it that way, it was a bit kind of a subconscious fear. But when I actually put some words on it, then I realized, okay, I can just do it like 80% quality.
Mm.
And then the 20%, they will take me at least double the time. So
Mm.
I just decide to stop there, not to do some over quality, and
Yeah.
just see what happens with that 80%, as you mentioned. And from the feedbacks, I improve. And actually, my level of quality just improves with the reps, as you
Yeah. Yeah.
mentioned. It's just by
Yeah. Yeah.
doing more that we just get better naturally. So you don't even need to have better scripts. You just get better at going with the flow to
Yeah.
share some things. So yeah, that's really, I think, one of the best advice that people can get if they are launching a business, or if they have that kind of perfectionism, to understand exactly where it comes from. What is the
Mm.
need or the vulnerability behind that? And it can be, as you mentioned as well earlier, to lose control or to get some criticism or whatever. But no matter what it is, to understand it and then to work on the how to feel more secure about it, let's say. So I think
Mm.
that's really like the shortcut if we need to, yeah, to think of it. And
I
yeah.
did hear a podcast not too long ago about it, and they said it's definitely connected to the fear of being judged. But
Mm,
also, I mean, it's okay to be judged because, I mean, as you say, that's a way for you to get feedback. Like,
mm.
let's say, okay, maybe the sound was not good enough, or you didn't look enough into the camera. I mean, okay, then you know for the next time. That's okay. It's totally
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as I mean, I think it's really our ego the problem. And
Yeah.
again, because we take things way too much personally, instead
Yeah.
of just taking it as a feedback that doesn't define us or our value or our
Yeah.
quality as an expert or whatever label we want.
Yeah.
And just to take it as a feedback, and to have that kind of filter, I think
Yeah.
it's really like quite a superpower when you have that, because then you can be way more agile in your way to do things, to test things,
Yeah.
because it doesn't touch you so much if you fail or if it's not perfect.
Mm. Mm.
So yeah, that's really, I think, what really helped me. And also another reason for me to sometimes be kind of perfectionist is because I want to be sure of where I am going, why I'm going there, but it's more a need for clarity on my direction than the quality itself of the work. And so that, I feel, it's still something I'm working on, like to learn to have enough visibility to start,
Mm.
and then like to learn as I go, because I will gather some data, some feedback, better understand also the context to make
Mm.
better decisions next time. So you see, it's a bit like I can see, yeah, I still have that need to control a bit, like too many steps ahead sometimes. And then
Yeah.
I try to regulate myself, and okay, like I will just work on the next step. And so I can already start and then see what happens. So yeah, I
Mm.
don't know if that's something that you have as well, or if you manage to overcome it, or if you don't have that problem at all. But yeah, that need
I
for
think
clarity, I mean. Mm,
I think having a end goal or like a compass, like if you have goals, that's kind of your compass,
mm,
but then you need the habits to get you there, right? So I definitely think it's good, it's important to have your compass, knowing where you're
mhm,
going, but sometimes that can be hard as well. And I think it's just like trying something, and then
mhm.
you will know a
Yeah.
bit more okay, is this something for me? Like for example, today, I mean, I've been doing a few podcasts now myself and also attending to a few, this one and the European Commission, for
Hmm.
example. And I also been having a few workshops, presentations. And today it was my first time really hosting a webinar throughout the whole webinar, like asking questions. And I definitely felt that was, yeah, it's something I want to continue doing. And I
Mm.
would never have known if I hadn't tried, right? I
Yeah.
definitely did have some reps in from before from doing other things.
Mm.
But now I know because I tried. So that's now I see that, okay, the next we're gonna have a new webinar for my business next month, and then I will be hosting as well.
Mm.
And that's the only way to know by trying.
Yeah, and also as you do it, you gather experience and you connect the dots, like to connect with your
Yeah.
company as well. But
My company is called Connected Us, yeah.
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
it's like you have experience in showing up on stage and maybe
Yeah.
facilitating meetings with your team and with this and that, or being on a podcast. And so
Yeah.
facilitating a webinar, you use all these other experiences to do the webinar. And so just to try things, I think we underestimate that collecting all these small experiences, they actually help when we need to do new things as well. So just
Yeah.
being more in the flow of doing, it really helps to build the confidence naturally to do more new things.
A hundred
So, yeah.
percent. Yeah, yeah. I totally agree with that.
Mm.
It's about getting your reps, and then it will lower the intensity and other things that are in the same category.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And so that's something we can do intentionally, like just to put ourselves in some unknown situations, like with
Mhm.
measured risk. And so like we can have more flexibility, like, yeah, in different parts of our business. I mean, it can be super
Mm.
valuable.
Mm. Maybe
Um,
something I can mention there. I remember in April 2020 or March 2024, I was doing like attending to a pitch competition. And I don't know why. I felt comfortable before walking in there, but I kind of lost it as I went in. And maybe I was overwhelmed by so many investors like staring at me.
mm,
There was a table of like 30 investors, and that was the worst presentation I ever done. It was horrible. And
mm,
I actually, yeah, of course I didn't win that competition, but I did go in with that mindset that like I'm gonna win this competition.
mm,
Then in November the same year, last year, I I had another competition, but was a stage with maybe 70, 50, 70 people, a lot of
mhm,
people.
mm,
Also like, you know, doctors, the leaders of the municipalities, like top people in the sector, in the healthcare sector. And I went in with the mindset like, okay, if I'm doing this better than last time, then I'm already, that's my win. That's my win. And actually, I didn't have any expectation at all winning the prize, but I actually did. And the reason for this was that I was really present and calm, and of course the material was also good, but it was good in March as well,
mm,
and I was competing with other businesses that I was they were at a high level as well. But I definitely think like me getting in my reps, it was
mm,
definitely, it didn't feel good in April to have my worst presentation, but then I kept practicing later. I did podcasts with the European Commission. I had some workshops, and I think th those reps were making it better for me in November, to be
mm.
honest. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And I like the fact that you didn't let it take you down, let's say. Like, okay, it's just a bad experience, but we keep going and, like, we do better next time.
Yeah. I'm
And
very stubborn. That's one of my strengths.
okay, okay.
I'm very stubborn
Yeah, that's
on
a
those
secret as well.
things. On those things, yeah. So no, I would say you should rather take it as motivation because you can always get there. You just have to keep going.
Mm, yeah, for sure.
It's like you did. I mean, those 5 years, I'm sure you had moments where you're like, oh. oh, I didn't say what I should have said to that woman or that group, or like this is awkward. Like, you
Mm.
had so many, I'm sure, like slaps in your face, but not physically, but like you felt like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, for sure. I
not
mean,
going the right way. But you did it. You kept going.
yeah, and honestly, I don't think I was very nice with myself. Like, I was
Yeah.
super, I had a lot of self-criticism and stuff, and that's maybe the thing I would do differently today. Like, just to be grateful for just even trying, and
Yeah.
to make it better. And I think that's really the mindset to not to have that double pain because first you fail and second you blame yourself, so it's not too nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to be an ally with ourselves, like, okay, it was not the best, I can do better next time and keep going. Like, I think it's really the best approach, like not to be too focused on the outcome, but more on the journey of who we are becoming in the process, that's really the most important
Mm.
thing.
Yeah. And
So yeah.
celebrate the small wins as you touched there, because yeah, I mean, if I take an example from let's
Mm.
say if you started a conversation with someone and the first 5 minutes went well, but the last 5 minutes were awkward, then it's like, okay, celebrate the first five.
Yeah,
That's a
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's a step into the right direction.
Yeah, to have that constructive mindset and not just to focus on the negative because
Yeah.
it's really not helping. I know sometimes we can have that drive, like just it's a drive to get better and stuff, but it can be so much more pleasant to see, okay, what can be improved and to be grateful for what was already more or less good.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, we will keep going, but in the second scenario, it's just a bit more comfortable, like to be making small mistakes and still improving. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, today I don't see it as something necessary anymore, like to motivate myself to keep going. So I
Hmm.
reframe that as well a bit.
Hmm.
But yeah, before we finalize like the interview or we get closer to the end, do you have any other specific topic you really would like to share? Or did we cover like already enough for you? How do you see it?
I think it's better to just like keep mentioning the some of the things that we touched several times. Like you definitely need to have a mentor who's ahead of the game of you. Like you
Hmm.
also shared where you walked the walk and then you could help other people that were where
Mm,
you started. So it's very important to have a mentor to help you on the way. And as we just talked about, like you really need to accept that you're going to do a lot of failure. Like you're going to fail a lot, but you need to take it as failing forward. Like
mm,
every time you do something wrong, you learn, and it's definitely helping you to make better decisions in the future. And in the end, we
mm,
do learn more by making mistakes instead of theory or like that's the best way to learn.
mhm,
But no, I would just add one more last thing in the end regarding the mentoring. I definitely do feel that we saved a lot of mistakes because we had mentors, even though I said like the best way you learn is by making the
mm,
mistakes yourself, yes. But we also did save our company for a lot of cost and time and energy because we had mentors ahead of the game. So I
mm,
would say, yeah, the mentor thing is definitely my my takeaway. But I do also feel that the people who are listening in, they are probably, they are interested in listening to your podcast because they do feel that you are a mentor for them as well.
mm.
So I definitely feel they're in the right position. And yeah, having a positive mindset is very important.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think that summarizes super well. And yeah, having a mentor, it's not whether making mistakes or having a mentor,
Mm.
because just having a mentor helps us to make a bit less mistakes, but we'll still make a ton of them. So
Yeah.
better make ourselves, our life a bit easier, let's say, and to have
Mm.
some support, like when there are tough times, because it's super hard to be growing alone, like without sometimes direction or clarity. And so to have someone that is there to remind us our goal and to help us to keep going, it's super valuable. And I also still have like coaches and mentors, like even
Mm.
after almost 6 years of running my business. So it's not like an
Mm.
option in my opinion. But yeah. up to people
The
to decide
endless,
for themselves.
the journey is endless. What were
Yeah.
you saying?
No, no, I say it's up to people to decide what's good for them, of course, but I really believe in
Yeah,
it. And that's why also I'm a coach and mentor myself.
yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
And you know that like there's always something, a new area to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. What is for sure is that with a mentor, you just go faster. They will not do for you. It's up to us to have the drive to know what we want and to take the actions. But a mentor will help us to refine a bit the direction or to channel our focus and energy in the right direction.
Mm,
That's really the way I see it. So yeah, that's super beneficial, and we can really compress time with the right mentor with us.
mm.
So yeah, that's a good word for the end. And so where can people follow you afterwards? So you have your podcast. Can you maybe mention it again, and or other socials if you feel like it? Yeah.
Yeah, they can definitely listen into Built by Her. I did talk about Women Tech EU, and I also added a few episodes on mindset because I definitely feel
Mhm.
the mindset is key to succeed as well. Otherwise, they can find me on LinkedIn. Siva Snarby is my name, and
Okay.
yeah, feel free to connect with me.
Yeah, sure. We can mention the links in the description as well. And yeah, so thank you a lot, Siva. Hope you the best for you, like personally, for your business in the coming months and years. And yeah, talk to you soon for another episode, maybe in some time.
Yes, perfect. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Goodbye.